On tonight's Granada Reports.
I've lost our daughter. She's not here now. And this is because the army was marking their own homework.
Let down by the organisation she dedicated her life to. The mum of gunner Jaisley Beck, who took her own life, says she doesn't feel like justice has been served as her abuser is jailed.
Another glimmer of hope for the family of Genevieve Meehan, campaigning for safer nursery settings in her memory.
We talk to 70s soul legends, the Stylistics, ahead of their Northwest gigs.
And I'm in Southport, where a spooky ghost train with a difference has rolled into town for the scariest night of the year.
Good evening. A former army officer who admitted sexually assaulting a teenage soldier from Cumbria who later took her own life has been jailed for 6 months.
Jaisley Beck from Barrow died at an army camp in December 2021, 5 months after twice reporting the incident while on a training exercise.
Well, an inquest into the 19-year-old's death ruled the assault by warrant officer Michael Webber and the army's failure to take action contributed to her death.
It was something the service addressed following the sentencing.
We are sorry we didn't listen to Jaisley when she first reported her assault. Since Jaisley's death, we have introduced a significant cultural reform programme alongside the Raising Our Standards programme.
Well, our reporter Fiona Marley-Patterson has spoken to Jaisley's mum, who's told ITV News she doesn't feel like justice has been served.
After 4 years, someone has been held accountable for what happened to Leanne Macready's daughter, Jaisley Beck. And yet, it doesn't feel like justice, much less victory.
Jaisley should have been believed, and it would have been her sat in the courtroom and watching that person who sexually assaulted her be sentenced. And we would have been right beside her. I still don't feel justice is served, but yeah, it goes back to our daughter were telling the truth. She reported it and basically said, Jaisley, you don't want to be known as a female troublemaker. That's when Jaisley said, I get a letter of apology, Mum, and he gets promoted.
The inquest into her death heard Jaisley then faced a separate incident of harassment from another officer. Her mum says she then felt she had nowhere to turn.
Again, we encouraged her to report this and she said, Mum, it's not going to get me anywhere. She said, look what happened the first time.
And yet the inquest heard from other female soldiers who described violent, degrading behaviours by men in the army. It found women were disproportionately experiencing bullying, harassment and discrimination. And you've been contacted by other women saying this wasn't just Jaisley.
It's still happening daily, and this is why changes need to be made. I've lost our daughter. She's not here now, and this is because the army was marking their own homework. It needs to be people from outside of the military to investigate serious offences.
Well, after the inquest, the army apologised and said it should have done more to support and protect Jaisley. It says there's been significant changes in the army with a zero-tolerance policy to unacceptable sexual behaviour, and it hopes others will now have the confidence that they can report it and they will be listened to.
The zero tolerance, that's been in place for lots of years. It's just empty words. Jaisley would still be here if they followed up their words, that if they actioned it, Jaisley would still be here. But they failed her. So who's to say that if it goes to the RAF, if it goes to the Royal Navy, that this isn't going to happen again?
Does this sentence now show other women that they can come forward and they will be believed?
I absolutely hope so. I'm a mum who's fighting for change, who doesn't want another family to go through this, who doesn't want another soldier to feel that they won't be listened to, they won't be supported. I mean, Jaisley went through all this and there was no aftercare, no form of counselling, no form of, they want anything, and sadly resulted in the death of our daughter.
Well, the government says that it is now looking into this idea of an independent armed forces commissioner. So Jaisley's legacy now could be a change in how the army and everyone in it is held to account.
I hope Jaisley's voice now is going to make a difference, but until it does, we will continue raising Jaisley's voice higher and higher until real change and real action is taken. That Jaisley's short life will make a difference to others. Just everything that you'd ever want in a child, Jaisley had. Funny, smart, kind, caring, smiling, happy, always singing. I just wish that the army had believed and she would have still been here.
Leanne McCready speaking to Fiona Marley-Patterson in that report, and you can see more of that interview on ITVX.
Well, next tonight, and an inquest has heard how the terrorist who attacked a synagogue in Manchester ran towards police before being shot dead.
3 people, including Jihad al-Shami, died during his attack at the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue earlier this month.
Anna Yosef is outside Manchester Coroner's Court for us now. Anna, what happened today?
Well, the hearing was relatively brief, just over 15 minutes, but it allowed police to give further information about the final moments of Jihad al-Shami, and members of his family joined the proceedings via video link. The inquest heard how al-Shami had died after suffering multiple gunshot wounds as he ran aggressively towards armed police, brandishing a knife and wearing what appeared to be a suicide belt. This was after the 35-year-old, who was a Syrian-born UK citizen, had driven his car towards security staff as worshippers were gathering for Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Al-Shami then fatally stabbed worshipper Melvin Kravitz as others barricaded themselves inside the synagogue. Armed officers then shot Al-Shami, and one of the bullets went on to kill another worshipper, Adrian Dolby. The court heard al-Shami was identified by fingerprints and also by secondary evidence at the scene, including his mobile phone and car. It also emerged today that concerns about that fake suicide belt meant that he was only pronounced dead 6 hours after the shooting. The inquest was adjourned until next February.
Anna in Manchester tonight, many thanks.
In other news today, and the detective who led the James Bolger murder inquiry has died at the age of 80. Albert Kirby spent more than 3 decades working for Merseyside Police and is credited with bringing the killers of 2-year-old James to justice. He died yesterday.
A man who murdered boxer Tyson Fury's cousin has lost an appeal to challenge his life sentence for murder. Rico Burton was killed when he was stabbed in the neck with a 7-inch lock knife by Liam O'Prey after a fight broke out in Altrincham in August 2022. He was given a minimum term of 28 years, but his lawyers told the Court of Appeal that he was manifestly excessive and should be reduced as his immaturity had not been properly analysed. But today, 3 judges dismissed the appeal. Right, time now for a look at tonight's top stories on the ITV Evening News. Here's Lucrezia.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the pressure piles on Andrew. Mr Mountbatten Windsor is struck from the role of peerage, and Virginia Giuffre's family demand he's investigated further. Well, Andrew's always denied allegations against him, from the Queen's favourite son to being banished to Sandringham. We look at his rise and incredible fall. Plus...
Well, next, and you may remember earlier this year, the parents of a baby girl killed by her nursery worker started a campaign calling for a change in the law.
9-month-old Genevieve Meehan died at Tiny Toes Nursery in Cheadlehume 3 years ago now, after being strapped face down on a beanbag.
Well, her parents, Katie Wheeler and John Meehan, say improved safety measures are needed in nursery settings to prevent any more deaths. And this afternoon, the couple met with the Mayor of Greater Manchester, who has now announced his support for the campaign.
Well, our reporter Emma Sweeney has been following this campaign closely from the start and joins us now. Emma, just remind us about the background to this campaign.
Yeah, well, as you say, it was launched by Katie and John in memory of their baby girl, affectionately known as Gigi. And they've launched this campaign because they say they want to see nurseries, early year settings made safer. So they've got 6 changes in total that they want to see. Amongst them, they want to see the compulsory use of CCTV in all nurseries and early year settings. They want to see more frequent Ofsted inspections, unannounced Ofsted inspections, and they also want to see a statutory framework on safe sleep within nursery. So that's what they've been calling for this whole time. As you say, they've now caught the attention of Andy Burnham. He asked them for a meeting this afternoon. Unfortunately, the cameras weren't allowed into that meeting, but we did catch up with Katie and John afterwards, and they were very pleased with how it went.
It was an excellent meeting. The Mayor was very supportive of the campaign. They want to assist us in any way that they can, and they want to work with us to achieve the campaign goals and ensure Manchester is leading the way when it comes to the safety and well-being of children in early years settings.
So Andy Burnham throwing his weight behind the campaign, but there's also progress in other areas too, Emma.
Yeah, that's right. So come next April, we know that the government will now, or the Ofsted will now do more frequent inspections within nurseries, going from every 6 years down to every 4 years. Not quite as frequent as Katie and John would like, but it's certainly a step in the right direction as far as they're concerned. And earlier this week, actually, Wes Streeting, the Health and Social Care Minister, wrote to Katie and John's MP just to update them on what the government is doing. And he said that the government is in talks with the Lullaby Trust around existing safer sleep requirements, whether any of that needs to be looked at. He also said that they're talking to Ofsted around use of CCTV in nurseries and early year settings. So Katie and John think this is all very positive. They are certainly making good progress, they feel, with those in power down in Westminster. And of course, we will continue to stay across any more developments.
Emma, many thanks.
OK, plenty more still to come on the programme tonight, including...
We take a ride on a ghost train celebrating Halloween.
And in the weather, this spider's looking for his web. We know where it's gone. The full forecast coming up shortly, but everybody's very busy pumpkin carving, especially Caitlin, because ghouls just want to have fun.
I like what you did there, Emma.
Well, next, and if we were to say the song titles You Make Me Feel Brand New and Betcha by Golly Wow, would you know which soul group from the 70s that we're talking about?
It is, of course, the Stylistics, the American Philadelphia soul group who had a soulful 10 top 10 hits in the UK. Let's take a look at one of their hits. I bet you were clicking your fingers, right?
You'd suit one of those suits as well. Well, since those days of the velvet suits and frilly shirts, they've spent a lot of time in the region.
Yes, and they're back for a UK tour where they'll be performing at the Liverpool Philharmonic Hall and the Plaza in Stockport. I caught up with them earlier and began by asking them whether this is the first time they are performing at those venues.
No, it isn't. No, we've been here quite a few times. I think the first time that we came to the UK was 71 or 72. Luckily, we've been coming basically every year since then, and our fan base has grown tremendously. Young adults that came to the show back in the 70s are now, in some cases, grandparents. They have put their grandchildren, their children to the show, so 3 age groups by now since we've been coming.
Jason, you joined the group in 2013, but the group's been going since, 1968, so 57 incredible years and still going strong.
Still going strong, and like I say, the music never ends. It's been a long time, and it's been good.
One of the things I think people will remember the band for back in the day is the suits, the bow tie, the frilly shirt, but also the dancing, the choreography. Yeah. Just tell us about that, because you're still doing it in your performances when you're on stage, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah, that's all part of it. I mean,
If you're doing a show with any group, the common sense is that you're putting on a show.
You're playing in Liverpool. You always get a huge reception from the crowds in Liverpool. Just tell me what the experience is like.
We call Liverpool our second home. In fact, when we come on stage, we say, oh, it's so good to be back home.
So every year we come, it's always sold out, you know what I mean? And it's always a fantastic thing.
Mm-hmm. Jason, everybody will have their favourite stylistic song.
Yes.
Have you got a personal favourite?
You Make Me Feel Brand New. Bet You By Golly, wow. I could go on and name them, but honestly, those few really resonate with me over the years. You know, you sang them when you were a kid, and now to be able to sing them live on stage is definitely a blessing.
You're performing at the Stockport Plaza, a big gig, expecting sellout crowd as well. Have you performed in Stockport before?
Oh, yeah. Many times. A lot of our audience base are return patrons. You know, they've been there the year before that. One couple said, we've been here to every concert that when you come to the city, we are there. Yep. So we have that type of support.
What would you say to somebody who hasn't been lucky enough to come across your music?
Just listening to the music can bring different points back into your life that were good, you know, that were happy times. So this kind of music resonates with you if you just take the time and listen to it, you know.
I think if you have any kind of heart or any kind of love for humanity or someone that you care about, I think that music would represent.
Well, Arian, Herb and Jason, gentlemen, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely, thank you.
Go on, have a dance with your loved one in the kitchen tonight. You won't regret it.
You've got so soppy. OK, time for sport now. And a Liverpool legend is backing on a slot to stop the slump. Here's David.
Yeah, the Premier League champions have lost 6 of their last 7 games. And despite their poor run of results, well, the former Red striker Robbie Fowler believes Liverpool will turn things around. After a summer of big spending, Arne Slot's side have struggled recently, dropping down to 7th in the table. Well, how they'd love their forwards to be banging in the goals like Fowler in his prime. Well, he's been hosting a football skills session for children at a new Sports Direct store in Liverpool today. And while the pressure is starting to build on Slot, Robbie has full confidence in the Reds' boss.
I'm going to back him. I think he's a tremendous manager. The club is in a great place in terms of the stability, and the players will be rock and rolling pretty soon. The expectation levels have suddenly risen, haven't they? You know, and so it should be. You know, it's a Liverpool Football Club, so people are expecting a little bit more now. So not getting them results, and a few various comments about people sack the manager, do this, do that. I mean, look, Liverpool Football Club, we're having a bit of a tough time, but, I've no doubt that they'll be all right come the end of the season.
Well, one man who knows all about working under pressure is Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim. Tomorrow marks the 1-year anniversary since the club announced his appointment.
It was really tough, good moments, bad moments. I learned a lot. That is really important. I found out that even in my lower moments, I can stick with the things that I believe, and that is a good thing for anyone. To understand that is one of the biggest honors of my life to be here, and I want to continue here for many years.
Now, it's a big weekend in the FA Cup with 15 of our teams in first round action. Among them are 4 non-league sides, including Macclesfield FC, where history will be made. Since Macclesfield FC was born out of the collapse of Macclesfield Town in 2020, the club has enjoyed 3 promotions in 4 seasons. Now in the National League North, the side are preparing for another historic milestone since being reformed by playing in the first round of the FA Cup for the first time ever.
Yeah, it's massive. The club hasn't been here before in the first round, and a lot of the lads haven't either, so we're excited, really proud there. For everyone really, because we get 3,000 fans through every week, so we're doing it for them, doing it for the club, doing it for ourselves.
It's an unbelievable club. The fans are brilliant. Being able to celebrate like we did last year, you see how much it means to people. If we can kind of give back to them through a cup run or another promotion, it'd be absolutely amazing.
Well, what would it mean if you could go on a good cup run this season then with the club?
Oh, it'd be absolutely amazing. I think that's why it's the FA Cup, isn't it? I think it's the excitement of it. Financially, of course, massive for a football club like us, a community club. I think if I'm right, it's about 45,000 if we win, but then obviously you go through to the next round. But it's everything else that can can come with it as well. So, yeah, super excited about it.
Well, one member of Macclesfield's squad who knows all about the magic cup runs can bring is Luke Matheson. 6 years ago, as a 16-year-old, he scored for Rochdale against Manchester United at Old Trafford in the League Cup, hitting the headlines and coming into the Granada studio with his dad.
It was magical for me, for the team, for everyone, for the fans, family members. It was something special.
We remember getting you in the studio as a 16-year-old the day after you scored at Old Trafford. Just tell us about the memories from that.
Yeah, you know, I could sit here and talk all day about that day. It's probably is the best day of my life.
Wayne Rooney was an FA Cup winner with Manchester United in 2016, and his younger brother John is now the manager at Mac, after Robbie Savage left to join Forest Green Rovers in the summer.
For me to take over was a big part of the changing room last year, and for me not to be in that changing room and be coming in as a manager probably took the lads a little bit of time as well to get used to as well, but I think now it's still starting to fall into place. It's about me, it's about my own career as a footballer, and now it's about my time as a manager now as well.
Well, this club has undergone a huge transformation in the last 5 years, both on and off the pitch. As fans since the 1960s, Andy and Jeff have seen it all. Now volunteers, they help out at the club that's rooted in its community.
Desperately important for the whole place, for the community. It's used every day now.
Yeah.
It was used once a fortnight before, and it wasn't a nice place to come, really. The atmosphere was wrong. Went bust, reformed, fantastic. We have a good time, don't we?
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
Yes, it's great. It is, you know, we have a good laugh, and the players are great. They don't tell us any secrets, but they...
Well, they do, but we don't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's no secret that Macclesfield want to avoid a horror show at home to AFC Tottenham tomorrow, as they look to reach the FA Cup's second round and make more history for this comeback club.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsor of the Granada Sport Report.
Now to another historic milestone, this time at Everton's Hill Dickinson Stadium, which tomorrow will host its first rugby league match. England take on Australia in the crucial second Ashes test, having lost the first game at Wembley. And it's an extra special moment for Wigan's Harry Smith, a lifelong Evertonian who's back in the squad.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, just even though I wasn't an Everton fan, to play at a stadium like this is unbelievable. You know, when we play at these amazing stadiums, it just adds that bit extra. You know, get the hairs on the back of your neck going, etc. So a few of the Aussie lads have said, like, NRL's not like that. You know, the fans aren't on top of you. It's not as loud. So if we can get the fans on our side, give them something to cheer about, I'm sure it'll help us and maybe startle them. But you never know.
It will be another advantage as well to make it, you know, hard for the Australians, and we need everything at the minute. We're in a fantastic stadium. We're up north, you know, with a lot of people not travelling far. It's going to be very loud, and it's going to be a proper test match, which I don't feel it was last week.
Yeah, let's hope that England can level that series. The Ashes series here up north, that's what we like, isn't it? In the northwest, that's what we like. Come on.
And a fantastic venue. David, thank you.
Finally, in case it's passed you by, today is Halloween, a day to celebrate all things spooky.
Yeah, and to mark the occasion, we've sent Zoe Muldoon to Southport, where there's a very special ghost train that's being set up.
Looks like you're having fun there, Zoe.
Well, I'm having a better time than Clive here. I think he's had a bit of a rough night last night, actually. A few too many sweets, maybe? Anyway, happy Halloween from Southport Model Engineering Club, where the track here is being transformed into a spooky ghost journey. Now, two of the many volunteers that have made this happen are Tom and Alistair. Hi, guys. Thank you for being with us. There's a lot of work that's gone into this, hasn't there? Why did you want to do this year?
That's right. It's been a massive community effort. All of our volunteers at the club. We've had local businesses supply pallets, Hessian sacks. We've even had a producer who does music for Alton Towers, Nick Hudson, create the music for the event as well. So it's been a fantastic team effort.
Why is the community in Southport so strong, do you think? Why do people put so much effort into things like this?
Southport's always been a close community, and over the last 2 years it's become even closer. What we've got into the routine of doing is that people are doing things for the community, and we wanted to play our part. So we've put this on to give something back to the community. We engaged with Farnborough Road Junior School and a number of the children there helped us produce all the props that you're going to see. So we've just got to say a big thanks to everybody.
So it's been a really big community effort. Now, we just saw the train go past there. This might be a bit of a hard question. It's quite a long track. What's your favourite part of the track?
I would say my favourite part is this here with all the smoke, all the spooks. It's fantastic.
Yep. And Alison?
Oh, it's definitely the Witches' Retreat right at the top. You'll enjoy that bit.
Yeah, I love that bit. That was one of my favourite parts. Now, you mentioned 2 of the children that were involved in creating these gorgeous, spooky decorations. 2 of them join us now, Millie and Dexter. Millie, what's your favourite part of the track?
I like the witches with the cauldrons, making like a little potion.
And Dexter, what was it like seeing your artwork as you went round?
It was really cool. I was actually really, really impressed because I didn't think it would turn out that well when it turned out like brilliant.
And what was your favourite part of the track?
Definitely the same as Millie's.
The witches?
Yeah, Graveyard Grove.
And tell me a little bit about your costume.
So this year I decided that I was not gonna buy a costume, so I just made my own one. So I got this hoodie and I got my hat.
Love it.
I have skull on my...
Oh, wow.
Like a skull head on my jumper.
Fabulous.
And I got like my raven flying.
Amazing. And Millie, what about you?
So my brother dressed up as a clown, and then my girlfriend wanted me to be the same. So I thought I looked at the store, and then I saw this, and it looked really good.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Happy Halloween. I'll let you get back for one more ride. Now, Katie, Gamal, go easy on the sweets there. We don't want you ending up like Clive here.
Yeah, I hope Clive doesn't put you off your tea either. Well, let's see how the weather's holding out for the trick-or-treaters. Here's Emma with the details.
Mom, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello there, last day of October and your Halloween weather witch is here with a full forecast. And the scariest fact about this month is that it has been particularly dull, with only about 60% of the normal amount of sunshine we'd expect for October. As we head into the weekend, sunshine and showers, some of those quite hefty, but some decent spells of sunshine in between. It will be pretty changeable, not too bad on the whole, especially on Sunday, but feeling chilly in the wind in spite of exceptionally mild temperatures today. So quite a mobile setup right now. You can see these occluded fronts moving through, so a lot of showers on those and some gusty winds as well. A few question marks over the timings of those. It's just going to be a very scrappy weekend. By the time we get through to the back end of Sunday into Monday, the remnants of Hurricane Melissa begin to approach the British Isles. That's a very important word, the remnants of. It's just the leftovers, and actually this is just going to skirt away to the north and west and push northeastwards as a normal autumnal low. It shouldn't be too impactful. Rewinding to the next few hours, if you're out trick-or-treating, well, you might not need any thermals under your outfit, but you could possibly do with a mac over the top. 1 or 2 sharp showers could prove heavy and thundery out there and gusty as well. A brief drier respite and then another system moving through. On the whole, it's just going to be a pretty windy night as we head into Saturday morning. Talking of which, the sun's up tomorrow, 7:10. Sets about 20 to 5 in the evening. Thank you, Sean, for that fun photo. And the bare bones of Saturday are that's going to be an unsettled start to the day with gales through the Irish Sea, across the Isle of Man and at the coast. But the winds lightening off into the afternoon, more sunshine and an odd glancing shower. But still, these could prove heavy. A bit cooler, but compensated by the sunshine. If you've got a bonfire or some fireworks on Saturday nights, it should be fairly dry. Bye-bye.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
A few damn trick-or-treaters out there, including our kids.
I think so. Well, just before we go, there's just enough time to show you these adorable costumes.
Yeah, they are all worn by children at Kids Planet in Stockport. The children don their favourite spooky and not-so-spooky outfits as well as transforming their preschool garden into a pumpkin patch complete with spooky decorations.
Oh, don't they look absolutely gorgeous? Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. Whatever you're up to, have a very lovely weekend.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.